And welcome back to the PouncerAI Freelancer Education Series. I am Jerod Morris here with PouncerAI CEO and founder Sean Jackson. And Sean, we finished the intermediate series, and now it is time to start the advanced series, the expert series, and really get into some next level tips to help people take their Upwork experience to the next level.
Absolutely. I'm excited for it. This is the fun stuff.
This is
primarily because you have to go through the beginner and intermediate to get to the point where Upwork then becomes really interesting as a way to really maximize your earnings, right? So, this is why I love this series, is because not only are we helping you get to the point of being a pro, but once you're a pro, there's so many more options out there to, really increase your earnings, how to deal with clients, et cetera. So this is the money portion of what we've been talking about. How's that?
Well, absolutely. And look, obviously you and Daniel developed, PouncerAI to help freelancers on Upwork, but you did that from your own experience because
Absolutely.
you guys have been high-level freelancers on Upwork.
Yep.
And so much of the series has been based on that experience.
100%. So let's get into it. I'm excited.
Let's do it. Okay, so the first edition here in the expert series is going to be about Connects, which is like the currency on Upwork. And so let me open with this question. How much should freelancers really be spending on Connects each month?
As much as you can afford. So, and I think, and we're going to go through how to budget for Connects as part of this today. But I think that what you have to really, back to your point, this is the currency on Upwork. You're going to need Connects for a whole bunch of things. This is the way that Upwork monetizes the freelancer experience beyond just taking a 10% cut. Now, a lot of freelancers struggle with this, but I'm going to tell you who doesn't complain about Connects: pros. Okay. The pros don't worry about Connects. They consider it a cost of doing business. And here's why. You can see it on this next screen right here. This is from our 21 Days to Success course that we have at community.PouncerAI. And one of the things I talk about is how to budget for Connects. When you are a new, for your first job, and this is just for illustrative purposes only, you're going to be spending a lot of Connects just to get anyone to read your proposals because you're brand new on the platform. However, over time, once you have become really an expert on the system, once you have a high reputation, you have lots of earnings, you actually don't have to spend as much Connects, surprisingly enough, because
you're more in demand now? Because
you're more in demand, people are inviting you more, and quite frankly, your profile, your proposals, everything you're doing just stands out more. So a lot of times you don't have to, kill yourself on the amount of Connects that you need to spend. So that's really the most important thing, is that this is just a cost of doing business. Every pro that I've talked to, though, budgets for Connects. Even ones where 50% of their business on Upwork are coming through, invites, they still are budgeting for Connects. The challenge is, in the beginning, you need a lot of them, but over time you need less of them. So from the way that, professionals look at it, they don't complain about, oh, it costs 12 Connects or, 20 Connects or 200 Connects, because they know that's the cost of admission in there. So when I say budget as much as you can afford, you're going to need that. And you're going to sit there over time and just say, this is the fee that Upwork's charging me to play on their platform, whether I get the job or not. And it's not great. I wish it wasn't there, but it is. So let's deal with the reality. And that's how a pro thinks about Connects.
Yeah. So budgeting for it is one step. What is the pool of money that I have to spend on Connects? Talk me through now a smart strategy for how you allocate what you've budgeted.
All right, before we get into the spreadsheet, just at a high level, you're going to use Connects, and they're 15 cents each in the United States. So Connects are not cheap per se. You're going to need Connects for your availability badge. You're going to need Connects if you want to boost your profile. And then the place where you spend the most amount of Connects is on submitting a proposal. And I've got a nice little spreadsheet right over here that is available at our course on 21 Days to Upwork Success. It's a free course that we offer. But this is the spreadsheet that you can use to figure out how much you should be budgeting for Connects beyond profile boosting, beyond availability badge. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through this, and feel free to interrupt because, it's a spreadsheet. It's always going to be complicated. So let's say that you want to put $3,000 in your pocket every single month. Okay. Well, that's, that's a good amount of money. Okay. But
Mhm.
to put that 3,000 in your pocket, you're going to have to you're going to have to charge enough to pay for all of the extra stuff that just comes with being a freelancer. For example, Upwork charges 10%, right? So you're going to need more money, right? Then you're going to have to make more money to pay for that 10%. You probably also have some tools that you're using. Most freelancers, especially the professionals, will have things like a Trello board that they're paying for, other, maybe a Canva file or whatever tools they have. That's part of your cost as well. So for budgeting purposes, I just put in 20%. So if I want to put 3,000 in my pocket, I have to make 3,750 during the month so I can put that 3,000 in my pocket. That's 3,750 less my cost, so I can put that balance in there. Does it make sense so far?
Yep.
Okay. So the next thing in the spreadsheet is how many hours do you want to work per month? Okay. Now, in a typical work month, there's about 160 hours. Well, you're not going to be working the full 160 hours. You're going to have to spend time, doing things like, doing your accounting or, having calls with clients or prospective clients or whatever. And of course, you're going to have time on Upwork itself to go find jobs. So you can go ahead into the spreadsheet and put in how many hours you want to work. And what that does is it just basically takes this number and divides it by this number to say, okay, if you want to earn 3,750, you're going to, and working 120 hours in the course of the month, you're going to have to charge a minimum of $31.25. Okay. That's what you're going to have to earn, right? Per hour of work time. Okay. Now, let's go through our cost. So let's assume, again, we've got the 750 of cost, right? We talked about it up here. Well, that's 750. Well, 10% is going to Upwork. You can't get around that. Let's say your tools, the subscription charges that you have cost you $150 a month. That's not uncommon, by the way. For many of us who are freelancers, we will have things we're paying for. So what does that mean? It means that we have $225 that we can spend for Connects. Okay. So now we have a budget. All right. So this is how we came into our budget. We said, to put 3,000 in my pockets, I have to spend $750 on costs. I have to make at least $31.25 per hour. So out of all of this, I've got $225 that I can spend for Connects. Well, how many Connects is that? Well, Connects are 15 cents each. So how many Connects do you get, Jerod?
1,500.
1,500 Connects. Okay. Now, the average cost to apply for a job on Upwork varies quite a bit. It can be very inexpensive. Sometimes it can be very, very expensive. It was not uncommon for us to spend 200 Connects to apply to a single job. Of course, we were going after higher end projects. But let's say on average, for your average freelancer, you're spending 16 Connects per proposal you send out. So how many jobs can you apply for? Well, you can apply for 94 jobs in the course of that month. Okay. So really what we are doing here with this is we're saying how much should I budget for Connects is really dependent upon a couple of factors. How much money you want to put in your pocket, how much is the cost of just being a freelancer in general, right? And then whatever is left over, you're going to want to allocate that across the board to say, here's how many proposals I can send out based on the number of Connects. So in this case, I can send out 94. Now, let's say you're in a super competitive category where you're going to have to be spending more. Let's say it's 15 Connects. Well, now I can only do 30 in a month. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is where, when you start to look at these numbers, this is how you figure out your budget, because in the very beginning, you're going to want to be sending out a lot more Connects out there. So your budget may actually have to increase substantially, because at the end of the day, there's going to be some closing rates, right? You're going to be sending out lots of these. So you're hoping that maybe out of the 100, you're getting 2 to 5 really solid projects out there. Okay. Now, here's the other thing that I want to point out, which is why, and we'll include a link in the YouTube show notes for this. But here's the thing that I want to really stress, which is why the pros don't worry about this too much. If you had zero cost, Okay. Let's just assume you just want 3,000 in your pocket and you have no cost. Upwork's not taking anything. There's no connect cost. There's no cost for your tools. What is the difference, right, between budgeting for connects, right, and cost versus not budgeting for them? Well, in this case, you would basically, if you had no cost whatsoever, you would be charging $29 an hour, or a difference of $1.88. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at this, the cost differential, because you're still going to have, Upwork is still going to take out money. They're still going to take their 10%. You're still going to have some tools. But when you just take connects out of the equation, it's only $1.88 difference. That's it. So instead of, and so really, is that big of a difference? Of course not. So let's say you want to put 5,000 in your pocket. Okay. So now, right, we've got a lot more money to play around with, right?
Yeah.
And so now, and maybe I only want to work, 80 hours a month. Well, I'm going to need to charge $78. That's how much I have to be able to put into my pocket. Okay. I mean, how much I have to charge so I can afford, to put money in my pocket and pay for my tools. My Connect budget just went up dramatically. Okay. So now I can be more aggressive in how I put out connects. Maybe I'm spending 50 connects to go after 63 potential jobs out there. That's why, again, when I'm thinking of budgeting, I'm thinking whatever I want to earn, there's always going to be some cost involved in this. And as part of that cost, if I just throw in connects, then I have $475 that I can buy 3,000 connects with, and then I can figure out how I want to apply them in the Upwork ecosystem based on this simple little calculation of, how much does an average proposal cost, and, how many jobs should I be applying for?
Yeah. I think you made the key point there, which is that pros don't worry about this. It's a cost of doing business. You can get a lot of business on Upwork. And so if you're serious about this, it's not something to worry about. It's something to figure out how you put yourself in the best position to take advantage of it. And in terms of how Pouncer plays into this, a tool like Pouncer, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't directly impact or use connects. But what you do with Pouncer is, number one, you make your time spent looking for jobs more efficient. So that time where you said time spent working, so you have more time to actually work. And with the tools and with the templates, you can create better proposals that can hopefully then increase your conversion rate and help you get more bang for your Connect buck.
Exactly right. I mean, this is, you encapsulated it perfectly. I just think that when you talk to pros about this, they first off are looking at projects very differently. Okay. And when they are looking at a job description, they have a pretty good feel how much they can earn by doing that job. And so the thing that they do is at the beginning of every month, they buy connects. Okay. They just go ahead and buy based on like the spreadsheet. If I have $475, which by the way was our budget for connects, I'm just going to buy 3,000 connects. Just get it done. It's kind of like when you're, going to work out, right? You prepay your gym membership because, that you've already invested that money, you're going to consume it. It's the same with connects. You just buy the connects at the beginning of the month. And then you don't worry about it. You just start applying because it is a numbers game. And some jobs will be very inexpensive. Maybe they're only 16 connects. Maybe some of them are 300 connects. I mean, which is sometimes the case. Okay, I've got 3,000 of them. Let me go apply those. And with PouncerAI, I'm improving my odds of getting my cover letter that I just paid, all those connects for, getting it open so that, again, I can come in and really have the best opportunity to get the client to engage with me. And that's why the pros just don't worry about it. It's a cost of doing business. They budget for it. It's just part of it. And that they know that they're going to make more than that simply because they've allocated a cost budget that includes the connects in there, and they're going to go for what they want to earn.
Yeah. Anything else folks should know about connects before we move on to lesson 2?
No, I just think that I know I hear the complaints. I know you don't like spending money when you have no appreciation there, excuse me. I know that you don't want to spend money on something that doesn't bring back a return to you. But I will tell you, what the pros have realized is that the more jobs they apply to, the more jobs they get. Connects is the currency that makes that happen.
Absolutely. And that is well said. And that is a great tease for lesson 2 in the Expert series, which is how to maximize your earnings on Upwork. Because if you're going to be investing this money in Connects, and maybe that's the last thing, instead of thinking about spending Connects, maybe it's a little bit smarter to think about investing Connects. I mean, it is an expense, obviously, but if you think about investing in your business and in your ability to get good jobs, that's really what Connects are allowing you to do. And if you're going to do that, then you want to maximize your earnings. And that is what we're going to talk about in the second edition of the PouncerAI Freelancer Education Series here in the Expert Series. We'll be back soon to talk about that.